The last part of part B, B.3, I like to talk about several selected questions from comprehension questions. Yeah. Although I post the answers, but some of the questions I like to explain a little more. Yeah. So in this part, I select a small number of questions from Module 2 Part A and Module 2 Part B. Yeah. All right, so the first question. Yeah. So here I give you the question number so you can find the original questions. Are we allowed to use a logical name of a Java resource as a welcome file? Yeah. So here, I want to explain two things. The first, a logical name. Yeah. The logical name here, we mean there is no physical file corresponds to the path. Yeah, because the logical name usually we mean the URL pattern. The URL pattern inside your web application, so there are two possibilities. One, it points a physical file. All right, yeah. But another one, another case, no physical file, okay? Yeah, no physical file. So in that situation, then we use this logical name. Yeah. The example is very simple. For Java Servlet, we use logical name. Yeah. Although Servlet, excuse me, although Servlet has a physical file, but we do not want to expose physical file to our user. We do not want to tell the physical location of the servlet file to our users. So that's the reason we always use logical name, yeah, not file, yeah, logical names for all servlets. All right, so that's the background for logical name. All right, now we get to this welcome file. All right, welcome file. Now, when we configure welcome file, yeah, configure welcome file in web.xml. All right, yeah. Remember, we can do in a list. All right, in this list, we can specify file name 1, file name 2, file name 3, okay? Yeah. You can specify usually a list of files. All right, so when the server looks for the welcome file, it will try the first one, okay? Try the first one. Is the file name of the first one can be found in the current directory? Yeah, current location, right? Current location. If not, then look at the second one. If not, look at the third one, and so on. Okay? Go through the list based on the order you provide in the web.xml. If it cannot find anyone, the physical file, yeah, the server will search, go to the current location, yeah, current location, yeah, search the physical files, yeah. try to get a match. If not, then error message. So no resource found. Okay, so you need to fix the problem. All right, so that's the background of this question. Yeah. So with this background, now you can see, yeah, we cannot, okay, we cannot use it. Yeah. All right, but so there is a situation people can get around it. All right, so that's another, yeah, because sometimes people can use interception. Yeah. So that concept later I will talk about. Yeah. Request interception. Yeah. So if people use the request interception, although you do not have a physical welcome file, but you can make the user call some URL name. Yeah, but you need to do something extra. Yeah. So for that relatively deep setting, deep way to do this, I will see. So if if I can find appropriate time, so I will talk about that. Yeah. But that is an interesting question. Yeah. All right. The second question, are we allowed to use multiple instances of a servlet in a Java web application? The answer is yes. But here I want to explain a little more background. Yeah. We can use multiple instances of a servlet. Yeah. But the situation is quite special. So it's a special situation. It's not a usual situation because under the normal condition, we do not need to use more than one instances of a servlet. We do not need it. Yeah. One instance is enough. Yeah. Only under some very special instances, then we may use more than one instances. So here I like to give you a description on that special situation. Yeah. All right. Suppose we create two instances. Yeah. How to do that? We can do it in web.xml. Okay. Instance 1, instance 2. Okay. Web.xml. Inside it, yeah. Because when we create a servlet instance, we use a servlet name, right? And we have a servlet class. Then we can use the same class to create another servlet with different name. So this time you create a different instance, but you use the same servlet class. Okay? Yeah. So here you can see we can do it in web.xml. Yeah. All right. So let's look at this. Instance 1, instance 2. Okay? All right. How to use it? So I described two different, one special scenario, because these two instances comes from same servlet, right? Yeah, same servlet. Yeah, that means the data processing part, the main data processing part, exactly the same. So that means we want to do the same kind of data processing, but we want to separate for two different topics, two different groups, two different cases. So that's the typical situation. Yeah. Similar data processing, but for two different business, problems related, closely related. Yeah. So here I can give you example. Yeah. For example, when we process the student data, student learning data, okay, grades, all those things, courses, registrations, that kind of thing. So now think about, I may like to use one instance to do processing on math students. Okay? Another instance, I want to process CS students. Okay? So there are a lot of things pretty common, but there are some differences. Okay? Yeah. So math students, because a lot of rules different, right? The requirements, a lot of things different. CS, the rules, requirements, all different. How do you separate those different requirements, rules? Okay? Yeah. So here we have a chance. Yeah. For the instance 1, we can use a set of parameters, okay, to control those rules. Yeah. CS, another set of parameter, right? Yeah. But the main data processing part, almost the same. Yeah. To set the parameters, we can set in web.xml. So when we configure servlet instances in web.xml, we can set different parameters. Okay? So that's the typical way, people can use more than one instances. Yeah. Although that's not the only way, right? Yeah. Because not necessary. Yeah. Sometimes you can just put a different set of parameters in database. Yeah. So you don't need to set in the web.xml. You can do it in databases. Yeah. So each way, there is some advantage and disadvantages. Yeah. Yeah. But this parameter way has its advantages. Okay? Yeah. All right. So at this point, yeah, because in this class, at this point, I have not provided you any example about these parameters for servlets. Yeah. But this way is pretty useful sometimes. Yeah. So for that reason, so I think I like to give you some experience related to servlet initial parameters. Servlet initial parameters. So this topic. Servlet initial parameters. Okay? Yeah. So you can set servlet initial parameters in web.xml. Yeah. This kind of experience, yeah, is useful. Yeah. So for that reason, I like to give, use project number 2 to do it. Yeah. So right now I have the project 1 idea, but I haven't written the description. So I will try to get it ready as soon as possible. Yeah. So then the project 2, so I have this in my mind, so we can do something, yeah, using that. Yeah, but that is just the one feature in this project. Yeah. And in this semester, so I think we can only do 2 projects, not 3. Yeah. So we won't have time. So we will only do 2 projects. So 1 and 2. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that is this question. So my comments, explanation. Yeah. Next one. In order to use one servlet to provide services to many users concurrently, is it enough to use a single instance of the servlet? Answer is yes. Yeah. Multiple, yeah, so here, you need to have this one servlet provide services to many users concurrently. Yeah. Yeah. And single instance. Do this through multi-threading. Multi-threading. Okay? Yeah. one instance can generate multiple threads. Okay? So each thread can provide the service to one customer, one user. Yeah. They can work concurrently, so multi-threading. Yeah. But you cannot see it. We as Java programmers, we never need to deal with multi-threading built in servlets. Yeah. Because servlet, using the higher level communication model, higher level communication model, so it hides the lower level. Yeah. So the multi-threading a little lower level, it hides the details of multi-threading. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so that is this question, the background. Yeah. Oh, another thing is, remember in the notes, we consider two cases, multi-threading way and a multi-process way. Yeah, multi-process. Okay, yeah, process way. Multiple processes. Yeah, one process corresponds to one instance, one servlet instance. Okay, yeah. All right. So multi-process way will use more resource than multi-threading way. Okay, yeah. Yeah. More resource than so it will be slower. Yeah. So that kind of thing, I spend a lot of time in the videos, in the notes. Yeah. So if you still remember, so try to recall that background. Yeah. Here, I do not want to spend too much time on this topic. Yeah. All right. Next one, the annotation information in a Java class can only be processed in the Java source file. After the class is compiled, the annotation information cannot be processed anymore. False. Yeah. So this question, you need to understand the basics of Java annotation. Yeah. Still, it can be processed. Yeah. Annotation information in compiled Java source files, so that's usually .class files, Java.class file. So it's binary file. Okay? It's a binary file. How to process annotation information in a Java binary file. All right. So here, let me describe the structure a little bit. Yeah. When a Java source file is compiled to a binary class file, it is divided into two parts. Yeah. Okay. So this part is the binary instruction. Okay. Yeah. But there is another part, annotation information. Okay. Annotation information. Yeah. Yeah. So separate it. Okay. Separate it. Yeah. Then when you use some annotation processing tool, try to extract annotation information from the compiled Java class files, it only accesses the annotation part. It does not touch the binary instruction part. Okay, so that's why, so there is no problem. Yeah, because separated. Yeah, yeah. So that kind of thing hidden, so we cannot see. Yeah, but we understand in that way. Yeah. Right. All right. So that is the background of this question. Yeah. So the next one, in a web application, a data processing file needs to provide services to multiple clients concurrently. Okay? Yeah, so we get back to the same question. Two ways, yeah, multi-process way, multi-threading way. Yeah, which one is more efficient? Yeah, this one. Yeah. So I also picked this one. Because this one requires quite some background to understand. Yeah. So I mentioned this topic before. Yeah. So we can see that easily. Yeah. Just a few more sentences. Multi-threading way, the reason it can do faster processing, reduce the overhead part. Yeah. Multi-process way, it uses more overhead part. Yeah. Because for different processes, they cannot share any resource. A process is an independent running program, independent. So it does not share resource with a different process. Okay? No. But a thread is not an independent process. It's not. Okay? A thread relies on, its parent process. Yeah. So there is a parent process in charge of several threads. Yeah. All the threads under control of that parent process, they share the same resource. So for that reason, it consumes less resource and it can provide services faster. Yeah. So that's the reason behind it. Yeah. All right. Another one. So this one, actually I explained before. So here, let me just explain another time. Yeah. Which of the following components contains the query parameters request line? Yeah. Query parameters, we know, attached to URL part. URL. Okay? URL path. After URL path, so you have a string, URL path. After that, you have a question mark, right? Question mark. So after the question mark, so that is your query string. Yeah, it is a string, parameters in query string. Right? Yeah. Query string, so using the name value pair. So remember? Yeah. So let me call it parameter name 1 equals parameter value 1. Okay? So name value pair equal. Yeah. Ampersand. Suppose you have another parameter. Parameter name 2 equals parameter value 2, and so on. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So you can pack several name value pairs after that question mark. Yeah. So that whole thing you put in the request line. Okay? Yeah. So then you send it to the server. Yeah. So that is the HTTP request structure. How do we send the data? All right. So next one. Which of the following components post variables? Yeah. So this time request the body. Post variables. Yeah. So we don't want to put in the query string. Yeah, because the data in query string, although we can send data, query string, visible. Okay? Visible by the user. By outside people. Yeah. So it's not good. Sometimes you don't want to show people some sensitive information. Yeah. So you want to hide. Yeah. So you want to put in the request body. So it is hidden, sent to the server in a hidden way. Yeah. All right. And but in the request body, when you send data, you also use name value pair. Name value pair. All right. So name value pair exactly as the way we do in the query string. Exactly we do in the query string, right? So that means this. PV1 ampersand PN2 PV2 and so on. Okay? Exactly send, this is the request the body. Okay? The body. Yeah. So we organize our data in this way, with the same way as in the query string way. Okay? Yeah, we just talked about in the previous slide. Yeah. All right. So then, now a question. Okay? Retrieve. Retrieve. Retrieve parameters. Okay? Yeah. When we retrieve parameters, the parameters come from two different places. Request line way, request in request string, request the body as post variables, two different locations. Okay? So the question is, when we retrieve, is there any difference to require parameters from query string or post variables? Answer is no difference. We use the same way to retrieve. Okay? Yeah. Request dot get parameter. Your parameter name. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. See? So this way, when we call this way, the container will search two places, request string place and request body place. So then, put there. How about that? Okay? Yeah. So, see? Yeah. No difference? Yeah. All right. All right, so here, so you can understand a little more background through these questions. All right, next one. Now, related to this question, again, yeah, these questions are closely related, so we talk about them together. Okay? Yeah. So this one, when we use the post method to send data, can we still put data in the request line? Answer is yes. Answer is yes, we can. Yeah. So that's why I talk about, yeah, but here we give the sure answer. Answer is yes. So why? Yeah. Think about. We do this way, form. We send data through form, right? Yeah. Action. In action, so usually you want to put a data process URL pattern, right? Yeah. After that, do you want to put a param1? So you can put param1, PV1, 2, PV2, and so on. Okay? Yeah. So you can put there. All right. So the method, you need to add a method, right? Post. Remember, you have to use post. All right? Yeah. Then inside, you use several input elements. Input elements. You can send many pieces of data. So the data you put here will go to request body as post variables. All right. So the data, this part, will go to the request line, this request line, okay, as request strings. Yeah, two places sending data at the same time. Yeah. So that is the special situation. Yeah. So here, I put 3 related questions related to sending data using 2 different ways, request line way, request body way. So try to give you, complete story. Yeah. All right, so that's the B.3. Yeah. So we finish this part. Yeah. All right.